Hey guys, so we have 3 hip mobility exercises or hip mobility drills that I like to do, not necessarily just for back pain, but just for overall health to prevent back pain. So if you don't have back pain, I would say that you're very lucky. If you've never had it, you're extremely lucky, but I think you should still do the things that you need to do to prevent that from happening. If you have back pain, these are a few drills that might help relieve it a little bit, just because if your hips don't move properly, if your posture's off, your hips don't move like they're supposed to, your low back is gonna compensate, which often means you're gonna have some low back pain. So here's what we got. The first one is up on one knee. You're gonna take that other leg straight out to the side, and you're gonna shift into that leg out to the side. Try to keep your heel flat on the ground. I like putting my hand here to make sure it doesn't come inward. So if I look over, I should still be able to see my big toe. I don't want it to be covered up by my leg. And then you come back up tall, so you're shifting over and then back up tall. So I like 8 to 10, and then you switch and do 8 to 10 on the other side. If you find that one side is tighter than the other, like deeper stretch, do more on that side, maybe 5 or 6 extra reps on that side. Second one, I like having a chair. If you have a tall foam roller, you can use that as well. If you have a wall, you can use it. Always make sure you have a pad underneath your knee. If you're not on a padded surface, you can really hurt your knee. So make sure you have a pad, a mat. So this one, setting up really tall, so good chair. You're gonna drive into the hip. So if I switch legs, so we're working this hip. So we're stretching out the front side hip flexor down into the quad. You can play with your foot position. You can have the toes untucked, you can have them tucked. You can turn your leg inward, outward, just kind of play with it, see where you get the best stretch. So you're gonna press down on the chair. You're gonna drive this hip forward, and you're trying to squeeze this butt cheek. So squeezing the cheek, whenever you squeeze, it stretches out the front of this hip flexor. And so what we're doing is kind of tilting the pelvis a little bit, which helps us stretch out that hip flexor. So if you sit down a lot, if you're in a car a lot, traveling, airplanes, you sit at a desk all day. If you don't sit at a desk, maybe you sit in a chair and you watch TV all weekend. Like, this is something that's gonna be good. This muscle gets tight, it tilts that pelvis, which if it tilts it enough, you can put pressure on that low back. So stretching out here, I like to do squeezes, maybe exhale. So I would say 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. And then you switch sides, and same thing. If you feel like it's tighter on one side than it is on the other, that's a compensation, that's an imbalance. Try to do more squeezes, more stretches on that harder side. And then we got one more. I like this one, 90-90. So separation between the hand or the heel and the knee. And I like staying up tall, but kind of hinging forward. I put my hand on the bottom of this foot to kind of help pull me into a good position. I find that good position. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna inhale, exhale. And the exhale, that full exhale, helps you sink deeper into the stretch, which, if you think about it, that's gonna be a better stretch. So sinking into the stretch, maybe your hands are out front, maybe here is a stretch. Maybe you feel this on the inner parts of the thighs. Wherever you feel it, we're trying to get back into that hip, but if you're feeling it somewhere else, it means this stretch needs to happen. You can also come back and stretch out and kind of play with your position here. It's gonna shift more towards this leg, but mainly hanging out over that front leg. And then make sure you switch. Again, separation between the heel and the knee, and you're working right in there. So those are 3 mobility drills. Not all the mobility drills you can do, but those are 3 to get you started, 3 to do if you haven't been doing them, and maybe see if they can help with that back pain.